So hello guys, I am Surbi and in this video I'll show you how you can draw this beautiful mandala. So if you are a beginner or you have never drawn a mandala, you can make this because I'll be explaining everything in this video. If you have never drawn any mandala, let this be your first mandala and trust me, you can definitely make this. I'll explain everything very simply step by step so you can make this. So let's begin. And you need very simple materials to draw a mandala. So first talk about materials. So the first thing you need is a good quality paper. I am using a 180 GSM paper. So make sure to use a good quality paper because if you use a low quality paper, your mandala will damage. So you can use any paper above 150 GSM. And then you need a pencil, razor, compass, protector, scale, and to draw a mandala, a black gel pen. So you don't need any fancy fine liners to draw a mandala. You can start with a black gel pen. I'm using a roller pen. This is a roller pen. So you can start with any black gel pen. So first we will draw the outermost circle of our mandala. So for that, select the radius of 7 cm and draw the outermost circle for our mandala and draw this circle with pencil only. At this time we only need one circle, the outermost circle, and then we will keep drawing circles as we need for our mandala. And now we will divide the circle in 4 parts. So grab your scale and divide this circle into 4 parts. So we need to divide the circle into 4 equal parts. So draw 2 lines and divide the circle into 4 parts. Then we will start drawing grid for our mandala. So now we need to draw grid for our mandala. So grab your protector and place it on these lines like this. In simple words, place the protector on right angle, that these 3 lines of the protector and the 3 lines of your circle align together. Then start marking at 10 degrees. So I am marking at 10 degrees. So we will mark on one side only. So mark 10 degrees apart at one side and then every line goes to the center, so you don't need to mark at another side of the circle. Then after marking at 10 degrees on one side, grab your scale and start drawing grid lines. So we need to connect these lines with the center. Just like this, place your scale on one of these lines and make sure that line is going through the center when you draw a line. Like we are connecting these lines to the center like this. So we will draw all the grid lines like this and try to draw grid lines correctly because grid is the base of our mandala. So we will draw all grid lines like this, connecting every line with the center. Let's complete drawing the grid. And if this is your first mandala, I want to tell you this, that even if it doesn't turn out amazing, just complete it. Because if you complete a mandala, you will get the confidence that you can. And it can also turn out amazing. So if you are scared to create your first mandala, don't let fear ruin your masterpiece that you can make by practicing. I know you will make mistakes, but they are a part of process. So just complete a mandala. And now our grid is also completed. So we will start by drawing the first circle. So the radius of first circle is 1.5 cm. So draw a circle of 1.5 cm. Then increase the radius just a little and draw another circle a little away from this circle. Then draw both the circles with pen and then we will add patterns in this circle. So we will use very simple pattern in this circle. So make a design like this and a small circle. This is the most used center design in mandalas. So if you have seen some mandalas, you must have seen this pattern. And this is the easiest pattern also. So make this pattern and then fill the remaining circle with your black gel pen. And also tell me in the comments if you have seen this pattern somewhere in mandalas or not, because I have seen it a lot. This is the most used center pattern that I have seen. So after completing the center design, we need to make the next circle. So for that, grab your scale and put it on this circle you created and mark at 0.7. Put your scale on the circle like this, and we need to mark at 0.7. So place it like this and mark at 0.7 and then draw a circle. So I'm not going to make all the circles at once. I'll keep adding the circles as our mandala grows. So it will be easier for you to understand it. We are going to follow this same approach. We will increase the radius of the circles and keep drawing the circles when we need. Then we need to draw patterns in the first row of our mandala. So start by drawing one rounded petal in one line and draw a line and a dot like this. Draw one rounded petal using one grid line and draw a line and a dot. We are going to complete this row like this. So let's complete this row. Just try to draw petals similar as possible and don't rush to complete the mandala. Make patterns slowly because you need to repeat the same pattern in the whole row. So just take a deep breath and make patterns slowly and enjoy. So the first row is completed now. For the next row, again we are going to mark at 0.7 centimeter. So put your scale like this on the petal and mark at 0.7 centimeter and draw a circle. And you are allowed to rotate the paper while drawing. So draw the circle and let's focus on the next row. So in this row again we are going to draw rounded petals like this. Use one grid line to draw one rounded petal. Like this, draw one petal using one line. Then double the lining of this petal and fill this completely with black. This gives the mandala a contrast look because the earlier row was very simple and light. So we are going to make this a little darker. So make this simple pattern. Draw one rounded petal using one grid line and then double the lining and fill the space. So complete this row by using this. So let's complete this row. So just add these details slowly. Don't rush. You can take a break if you want. So after completing this second row, again we need to mark for the next circle. So place your scale and then mark for 0.7 centimeter and then draw a circle. So let's draw the circle. Increase the radius by 0.7 centimeter and draw a circle where you marked. And then use two of these grid lines like this. Use two of these grid lines to draw one rounded petal. Draw petals like this. Use two grid lines to draw one petal. So in this row we will use two lines to draw one petal because we will make a little detailed patterns in this. So after making the petal, double the lining of this rounded petal like this. So double the lining of these petals and then draw a line in the middle. Make this line a little thick and then at one side draw some diagonal lines. So we are going to draw diagonal lines at one side and then at another side draw a line and a dot. So we will complete this row just like this. Double the lining of these petals, draw a line, make it a little thick, draw some diagonal lines at one side and then a line and a dot at another side. So let's complete this row. And I am only using rounded petals in this video and there is a reason behind it because rounded petals are the easiest to draw. So beginners don't find it difficult to draw rounded petals. That's why I am drawing this mandala using just rounded petals so that you don't find it difficult. And I'll also make a different tutorial about how you can make pointed petals very easily even if you don't know how to. So stay connected for that. So after completing this row, we need to mark for the circle. So place your scale again like this. And now we are going to mark at 1.3 3 centimeter. So place your scale like this and mark for 1.3 centimeter. And then draw the circle. Then in this row again we will use two grid lines to draw one rounded petal like this. So draw the petal like this, that the empty space which is in the earlier row comes in between the petal. So draw the petal like this, that this space comes between the petal. So use two grid lines and draw one petal like this and make sure that this empty space comes in the petal. Don't start drawing the petal with the empty space. Then double the lining of these rounded petals like this, and then we will draw patterns. So double the lining and then start by making the design in this empty space between two petals. So make this little small circle like this and then draw the pattern like I am doing. So draw the pattern like this, and then in the three petals that are in the middle, draw a line and a dot, and not on the other two because they are too small. So now let's complete this row. And also tell me if you want a beginner series for mandala where I explain everything from grid to pattern and how to use patterns properly. So just let me know in the comments if you want a series, a complete guide for mandalas. So now let's complete this row. And after making this mandala, tell me if the patterns were easier or difficult for you to make so that I can improve accordingly. So this row is also completed. So there is no need to draw another circle. Just measure the difference and continue. So in this row again we are going to draw one rounded petal using two rows, making sure that we don't start the row from the empty space between the two rows. Then to make the patterns, double the lining of these rounded petals, draw a line in the middle and draw diagonal lines at one side, and at another side make designs like this. So we are going to complete this row like this. I'll show you another pattern. So we are going to complete this row exactly like this. If you find any problem drawing the design which is at another side, you can draw diagonal lines at both sides. So if you find it difficult to make this design, draw diagonal lines at both sides. It will also look amazing. So now let's complete this row and then we will give the last finishing touch to our mandala. So let's complete this row. So after completing this last row, erase the extra lines and then we are going to make the last finishing touch. So for that, darken the outlines of the outermost petals. So darken the outlines like this. This will give mandala a better finishing. So now our mandala is completed. Let me know in the comment section if you find this video helpful, and also tell me what kind of tutorials I should make next and if I should make a series or not. And if you find this video helpful, subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.